All right. All right. Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to Distance Traveled. This is your host, Smith Patel, and today we are joined by Briuana Green. You know, there are some people on this planet who just walk this earth so gracefully that it feels like, oh my God. You know, she's like the Beyonce of Forest City. And I say this for a reason. Brianna is from Forest City, Arkansas, where like the town is so great, yet again people don't know about it. And when I was in high school, right next to the town of Forest City in Palestine, I was struggling to find a mentor, find someone who will tell me what to do, where to go, how to do. But Brianna didn't have anyone. I was lucky enough to use the internet to have someone. But as far as I know, I don't remember Brianna having a step-by-step guide, having like, hey, you need to do this. Yet again, she came from Forest City, Arkansas, graduated Harvard, did a study, did majored in psychology, and a minor in African American studies. And not just that, she's been involved in through and through the community at home, at Harvard, and everywhere else. And not just that, she wrote a couple of books while she was in there. And she's like, oh, why not? So this is really, really amazing. But I wanna hear her story. That how do you go from being born in Forest City and going to Harvard, being the only kid from Arkansas, from Forest City, Arkansas, I bet, at Harvard, and yet again doing it so gracefully, writing a book now at graduate study in Florida, I believe. Am I right, Brianna?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my God, dude. I don't know how that happened. So breaks this down. How does this even like you were like the most phenomenal person I had met in high school. Yet again so humble.
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for having me. It's like always a pleasure talking to you. And as far as my journey, like I knew I'd always wanted something different for my life. And when I like applied to Harvard, I don't know what I expected to happen. I really just
Hmm.
applied to see like what would happen. And when I actually got in, I was like, "Oh shoot! Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, do I actually have to go now?" Because I always said, like, when people used to ask me, like, "Oh, are you going to go to Harvard?" Like, I'm like, "No, I don't want to be around a lot of nerds. I don't want to go there." And then it's far from home, so
Oh my
I
God.
honestly never thought I would actually go. But like actually getting accepted, I had to change my mentality about it. I'm like, "Oh shoot! Like, is this like really a possibility for me?"
And you see now you are that one person people look up to. But let's get to how you got to being like that. So, you know, I was reading about you and you know, like even the very first thing that you like the major highlight that I was looking at, you know, as a 14-year-old you competed in the national spelling bee, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm reading here the interview of the what's it called, the one before the national round. You know, you are like at the Southwest level, like the state level,
Oh yeah,
and
the Mid South B.
exactly. Oh my God, like that gives me goosebumps just reading the interview because like you know there's this I don't even know how to pronounce this word dachshund and
Yeah, I honestly didn't know how to say it either.
and then the article goes, you know, like they pronounced it for you, and then maybe there was some problems, and like oh my God, like the commentator was so cold, like he goes like,
Yeah,
ma'am, you
I
pronounced
honestly
it.
didn't have any idea what the word was, and then after the B, people were like, "It's a Winnie dog." I was like, "Oh shoot, I never heard of that before." And then I
Me
honestly, when
too.
he was saying it to me, I didn't know what he was saying, and he like kept repeating, and I was like, "Nothing is like registering to me. Like I don't know what this word is." And like I literally wanted to cry because I'm like, I made this far. Like, I actually want to win this B, and I think I can, but this word is just like in my way.
Yeah, literally in your way. And then like it was so cold. I was like, ma'am, we pronounced the word for you, but if you are unable to pronounce it correctly, we can't control that. I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
honestly, it really hurt my feelings a little bit.
I was like, that's a 14-year-old, my dude.
Yeah, it
Anyway,
was harsh.
so how did you get into the spelling bee? Like, you know, because usually I use autocorrect. I don't worry about spelling. But as a
So
14-year-old, we didn't have that.
yeah, so like I got into spelling bees like way before then because my elementary school used to hold spelling bees. So I remember my first spelling bee was like it was either first or second grade, and like every year I would do that. for like a couple years, and I always thought it was pretty cool because I loved reading and I loved learning about words and stuff. And I used to love those vocabulary tests we used to have like every Friday in elementary school. So like I feel like that's just kind of like how I naturally got into spelling bees. And then
Hmm.
what really like piqued my interest was when I saw Aquila and the Bee. Have you ever seen that movie?
I have not. Aquila in the Bee. Oh, the
What?
Bee movie?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I've seen the Bee movie. I don't remember the Aquila. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, Akilah and the Bee with Kiki Palmer. Yeah, so I watched that movie and she made it to the National Spelling Bee and I was like, oh, that seems pretty cool. Like I want to do that. And so
Okay.
like I kind of looked it up to see like what it was and how you would actually like get into it. And
Mm-hmm.
so like apparently it like just you have to make it to like um so like in our city we had the school bees, then we had the county spelling bee, and then if you made it to the through the county bee, like you would make it to the Mid South spelling bee, which is the one I won in Memphis. And then if you
Mm-hmm.
won that one, you would go to the national spelling bee. So I was like, oh, okay, it's actually not that like far along. So I just need to like win this county spelling bee, and then make it to the Mid South bee and win that, and then I can make it there.
Wow, look at that. See, you broke it down in so simply. Like, oh, ain't no big deal. Just gotta win 3 championships, and after that, I got it.
Oh, it
Okay.
definitely wasn't. It wasn't easy because like you actually have to sit there and study the definition of words, like the etymology, and just really so many hours of like reading the dictionary. Just
Oh
yeah,
man,
and that
that is
stuff is
mind
so
blowing.
interesting to me.
So you already were interested as a young kid by being
Yeah.
influenced by movies or books or whatever. You were already interested in that, right? Now, let's talk, let's start from high school. That's where your journey really begins. And I want to know like how not being surrounded by people, because I mean, Forest City is not known or Arkansas in general, we are not known for like, oh yeah, we are just sending all our kids to Ivy Leagues. Yet
Yeah.
again, you are the one who rose above. And how did you do that?
So the thing that really was instrumental in me getting to Harvard, I believe, was this Dartmouth Bound program that I heard about my 11th grade year of high school. Because honestly, I had never thought about attending an Ivy League school. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got an email about this program, and it was like a few days at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if they're paying for everything, like, why not just go and see what it's like? And
Right.
so when I went there, like I met so many amazing people and talked to college professors and like some of the administrators at the school, and it was like they were all so nice and friendly, and it seemed like the students were really thriving in their environment. So I knew that was a place that I would like to be in, because Forest City, like, it's a very positive place too, and I feel like I'm always surrounded by supportive people when I'm home. So I
Mm-hmm.
knew that when I went to college I wanted to be like in a similar type of environment but with a lot more opportunity.
Absolutely right. Because the thing about Forest City or Palestine or Brinkley or any of these towns is everybody knows everybody. So they'll like they
Mm-hmm.
got your back. You know what I'm saying? So going
Yeah,
out and about is scary thought first of all to begin with.
that is
Wow.
so
So
true.
so so tell us about your high school life. How was that like?
Oh, high school. Honestly, I was mainly to myself a lot. Like I was kind of quiet, very shy. Like I had really good study habits because I always felt like I didn't want to disappoint my parents if I made anything below an A. So let me just go
Oh
ahead
my
and study,
God!
do what I have to
Wow.
do. Um, yeah, but I did have like my few close friends that I would like hang out with from time to time. But I was mainly like focused on school. But
Okay.
even though like my focus was like really on school too, there were moments where like things were hard and like where peer pressure was very tempting to like fall into, and I feel like we all go through that stage. So yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was like some parts of it were easier than others, but overall it was a journey.
For sure. And you know, you were involved in so many things in high school. You were not, you make it sound so, you know, like, oh, I was just, you know, studying, but, you know, you were in Future Teachers of America, you were in the Beta Club, you were in the Future Business Leaders of America, you were on the quiz ball team, right?
Oh yeah.
So how are you managing all this yet again studying?
So, like, I honestly didn't really sleep much in high school because
Oh
then
my
I feel like
God, girl.
I feel like I didn't need much sleep because I was good after 4 hours of sleep or so, and I would take a little nap after I got home from school. Like, I was good then. I can't do that now, but back then that was how I did it. So if I had like stuff to do after school, like that was fine. But like whenever I got home, like I would either take a quick nap and study, or study first and then like sleep for a little bit. So I like a little balance.
A little balance. I'm sleeping 4 hours a night, but there ain't no big deal. So so I just want people to know, like, you have had your fair share of struggles, because if sleeping 4 hours a night throughout high school, you have done a lot, and you were also working at Pizza Hut and Hibbett Sports. So talk to us about that.
Yeah.
Like,
And I feel like even though like I had so much going on, I feel like it was good to have those experiences because they really forced me to manage my time wisely. Because if I
mhm.
wouldn't have had those experiences and then going to college and not having people like looking over my shoulder, making sure at every moment I'm doing what I need to be doing, like I probably would have struggled a lot more in college because like I feel like every high school student needs moments like that where they're forced to like have some responsibility and then they have to manage it along with school and like other things outside of school.
Exactly. It's like the training wheels, right?
Yeah, it's like you learn through that experience. Like people can give you tips all day long, but if you don't have the experience to like kind of line up with what they're trying to teach you, like there's only so much that you can learn.
Man, that's true. So, what was the biggest barrier when you started applying? What was the
Hmm.
hardest part? The ACT, the personal statement, the application? What was the hardest part when you started applying? And where else did you apply?
Hmm. I think the hardest part about applying was probably the personal essay because I honestly didn't know what I wanted to write. So I chose the prompt that was talking about like how your background is like instrumental to who you are and what you want to be or something like that. I can't remember the exact prompt, but that's the one I
Mm-hmm.
knew I wanted to write about because I knew that like my hometown was very instrumental in me becoming who I am and like what I want to do. So I knew I wanted to write about that, but I really didn't know where to start. And luckily, like when I went to the Dartmouth Bound program, I got in contact with like one of the college students there, and like I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey, can you like edit my essay for me and like help me like see like where I can take this because I honestly don't know where I'm
Mm-hmm.
going." And he was like so helpful, and I'm so grateful for him because if he wasn't helping me a little bit, like I don't think I probably would have had such a great essay.
And a moment of truth here, you definitely repaid that in many, many ways. You helped me write my essay, edit my essay, and I even saw on Facebook that you were like offering just like, hey, if you need any help, give me a like shout out, because you were at that
Yeah, but
time you were
people need
already in
help.
college. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that essays can be hard, and especially like when it's an important essay like that, you want to make sure it's as flawless as possible. So, like, that was like one time where I was like, I know I need help because, like, me growing up, I feel like there were a lot of times where I was just like, oh, I just rather do it on my own. I don't really need anyone else's help,
Hmm.
so let me just do it myself. But that time I was like, I know I need some help, so let me just reach out.
Wow. So, and where else did you apply? So did you just apply to Harvard, or
Mm-mm.
what was the mindset?
So I was trying to apply to like schools where I knew I would want to like live in that state. So I applied
Hmm.
to 10 schools and all. So I applied to Harvard, Dartmouth, of course, because like that's where I really wanted to go there for a while because
Hmm.
after the program I was like this would be a great place to live. Like I enjoy the campus, like I feel like it fits me. So I really want to go
Hmm.
there. So of course I applied to Dartmouth. I applied to University of Arkansas, Baylor, Vanderbilt, University of
My, oh
Memphis,
my. Okay, wow.
Alabama, Georgia, Howard, and USC. They rejected me.
Hey, dude, you got it. Let's not get greedy over here,
Yeah,
okay?
I'm like, I'm fine. Like, I don't care. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, you Harvard trumps USC any day, okay?
Yeah, and at that point, by the time I got my rejection letter, I was already like set on Harvard anyway. So I was like, oh, okay. I forgot all about
Okay.
this school.
So you applied and you got in, right? And you talked a little bit in the beginning, like, oh wow, like I got in. I wasn't expecting this. So then what?
Yeah,
Because Boston's
like
in Arkansas.
totally different places and so far away. So when I got in, like I was just I don't even know, like I was just so shocked and excited at the same time. But in the back of my head, I was like, "There's no way I'm going there." So let me just like live off of this hype of actually getting in. But then I just
Mhm.
started talking to people, and then I was like, maybe this isn't an opportunity that I should pass up because it's not an opportunity that people get every day. So maybe I should just take advantage of it. And then
Mhm.
also, I feel like Ivy League schools, like they often offer more money and like financial aid than other schools do. So that was also like a huge deciding factor because their financial aid packet was better than any of the others that I had gotten to. So I felt like that would be a better situation for my parents too.
Easy pick, huh? Like they're giving you the
Yeah,
most money too. Like, girl, you
yeah,
better
that
go.
was also a big deciding factor too.
Yeah,
So I was
money.
like, I can't
Yeah.
pass that up.
Absolutely. Right now, student debt is like a financial crisis in the
Yes,
whole
it's
country.
crazy. And it's sad that so many people have to like struggle so much to pay for school when people make it seem like that's what we need to do in order to be successful. Like we need our education.
Exactly. Truly, that is so true because I mean, with education comes so much else. Not it's not just
Yeah.
about getting a degree. There's experience that comes with it, and that's what
Mhm.
leads us to your time at Harvard. So as you go in, did you already know what you wanted to study? What's going through your head? What did you do?
So I kind of already knew what I wanted to study too, because before I had even went, I looked at the programs that they had offered, and honestly, not many of them interested me. And I saw psychology. I was like, that seems like something that I would enjoy because I love learning about how people think, and I know that whatever I do in the future, I want to work with people. So it would be helpful to understand like how minds work. So I was like, that's an easy pick for me. I'm definitely going to study psychology. But after my fall semester, I was like, I don't know if this is for me because I had my intro psychology class and
Mm-hmm.
I ended it with, I think I had like a C minus, and I was like, this is the first grade that's below an A that I ever had in the class. Like, this is terrible.
Oh my God! So yeah, because for a straight A student, anything
Yeah,
below
that was
A,
that was a huge blow to my ego.
yeah, like this straight up gave you a C. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Oh,
So
it was rough.
then, and then you were so far away from home. So how was it adjusting? Like, how was life? Like, what's going?
Honestly, adjusting wasn't that bad because like on the first day, like I made it there, like I was kind of like sad that my parents were leaving me, but I made friends like kind of instantly because the way that we were set up in my freshman dorm, it was like we're all so close to each other. So like I was really close to like the girls who lived next to me, so it was like easy to make friends, and so I was like really close to them. And then they also set us up with so many advisors that they made the transition a little bit easier because they help with like picking classes and just like navigating Harvard life and just the Boston area in general. So I feel like Harvard made the transition a little bit easier than what it would have been if I didn't have all those advisors. And also like really during my freshman year, I really didn't find that many moments where I was like homesick or anything. I was really surprised about that too because I had never really been away from home longer than a week, so I was kind of worried about that, but it wasn't even that bad.
Brianna was like, oh, I kind of like
Yeah, I was like, I like
this.
it. It's different, but I like it.
That's good, and that's how it should be. That's how it should be because now, because once you were there, everybody over here back home, including me, we were all looking up to you. I was like, man, this girl,
Aw.
like this is our hope. You really turned into our hope. Like, wow, like if she can do it, maybe you gave so many people just the ability to even dream. Because before that, people were like, nah, we're not supposed to go there. Like, it's just not possible.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted too, because like when I was thinking about going to Harvard, I was thinking that like a lot of people might not think that it's possible for people like us, but that's not the case. Like we can go to schools like that and also be successful. Just because we don't see a lot of people doing it doesn't mean that we can't do it. So
Exactly.
I kind of wanted to change that
I
view.
am so yeah, so proud of you, girl. So proud of you. So
Thank
then,
you.
so then, when you are getting through the first year, right? Like school
Hmm.
cannot be the only thing. You might have gone nuts if you did that, but I didn't. I know you told me you joined a lot of other things at school. How did you go about joining the other things?
So the thing that I really spent my like most of my time doing in college was like cheerleading, and I got into that. Oh, it was like so random. So like within I think it was like the either the first or second week of me being there, they had this activities fair where like all the clubs and organizations on campus like get together like in the quad, and they
Mm-hmm.
just basically have like their own setup, and they tell students that stop by like about their organization and stuff. And then I just happened to walk by like the cheerleading table, and like all the girls were so nice, and they're like try out, and I was like, oh, I don't know how to do anything. But I ended up going to tryouts. Honestly, it was rough because I was just learning everything like completely new, and I was like, I don't think I made that. And then when I got the email the next day saying I made the team, I was like, what, are you serious? And I was like, should I even try to join, because I know it's gonna take up a lot of time. I don't know, I'm too shy, like is this gonna work out? Ended up going, and just making a connection with the girls on the team was just, I don't know, it's just like some people you just find yourself instantly like bonded with, and I feel like that's the type of connection that I made with the team. So I was like, this is gonna make college a little bit easier if I have a group of people that I consider my family. So let's just go and see how it is. And I kept on with it, and I definitely made some forever like friends through that group.
Dang! Wow, that's pretty good. So
Yeah.
just a group of girls be like, "Yo, come on, join us," and then you did. So was
Yeah.
that hard? Was that
Crazy.
hard?
Honestly, it was hard because like physically, like I feel like cheerleading is so demanding, and it's like your body has to get used to so many new things. But it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool though, like just seeing like how far you can take yourself and like challenge yourself and see like what you can accomplish when you just like keep going for it and stay encouraged through it. It's amazing. So I feel like just seeing so much success like and just having that relationship with the girls on the cheer team, it influenced like the other areas of my life in college too. And I think they played a huge role in me not being homesick because I could always like hang out with them or talk to them whenever I was struggling with anything too.
Awesome. Now, I know you joined, not joined, but you added on a minor in African American Studies. Was that
Hmm.
also in your first year?
So actually, no. So I had just been taking like classes that I thought were interesting, and honestly, I didn't even know I had enough credits to like have a minor in African American Studies until like my senior. I think near the end of my senior year. I was like, oh shoot, like how did that even happen? Because it definitely wasn't intentional. Like I hadn't even thought about it, but then I had taken a lot of classes like that were in line with the program, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool
Dang, might as
because
well.
those are some of my like favorite classes too. So I was like, oh, like I didn't even know that was possible because I initially thought I wanted a minor in religion, but that didn't work out because I took a few like religion courses and like I enjoyed them, but um yeah, it just didn't work out.
Okay, no worries, dude. Girl, you
Yeah.
grad, yeah, like, dude, don't nobody complaining. Promise you that.
Yeah, I was
So
like, if it was meant to happen, it would have happened, but it didn't, so it's
exactly.
okay.
Yeah, no problems at all. Now, the big thing that I'm very impressed, and like I don't even know how someone pulled that off. You started writing a full-blown book,
Yeah.
a novel in your second year. Tell us the reasoning behind it.
So I knew like growing up I loved reading, but the thing is like I couldn't always find books that like combine like things that I was interested in and then like faith. So I knew I wanted at some point to like write a book about something. And I saw this
Hmm.
quote somewhere. It was like if you don't see the book on the shelf that you want to read, like make it yourself. And I was like,
Toni
okay.
Morrison.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was her. So I saw that and I was like, okay, like maybe I should start writing this book. But I was like, I don't really know like where to start. And I honestly at the time I really didn't feel like my writing skills were the greatest. So I was just like kind of trying to talk myself out of it. But then like I said, I always knew I wanted to write a book. So I was like, you need to go ahead and get started because you're never gonna reach that goal unless you get started. So one day I just started writing and honestly it was a hot mess when I first started because I didn't even know like where I wanted to take it. I just knew I wanted to have like something that high school girls can relate to and a book that also encourages them to like pursue their faith more seriously too. So I just started writing, had a plan, changed my plan a lot, but somehow it all came together. But I had many times during the journey where I quit and didn't write for like months and then I just wait to be inspired again and like just write and then somehow it all started to kind of look somewhat like a book, and I was like, okay, we're making progress here. And
Yeah, it
then,
looks like a book now.
yeah, it looks like a book. It's getting somewhere. And then it eventually like all came together, and I was reading through, and I was like, I think this is gonna be good.
Yeah, and I remember reading this article where you said this main inspiration was from your sister.
Yeah,
So what
cause
was the
like
backstory behind that?
Cause like I knew she was growing up too, and I feel like me personally, like I learned a lot through writing, and
Hmm.
like read the books that I read growing up. I feel like I learned a lot of life lessons through the books, and I wanted a place for her to like her and other girls to like learn from too. And so like I was saying, like my faith is really important to me, and I
Hmm.
want other people to see like the benefits of having a strong spiritual life. And I knew that I could communicate that message through my writing, and that's something that I wanted to do.
Yeah, wow. That isn't that amazing. See, normal people like me, Brianna, I go out and look at I look at a YouTube video, I get a little sad, I look at a YouTube video, get happy and go about my life.
Honestly, yeah, I do that too sometimes. Like I love YouTube.
But then you also wrote a book, Brianna, wrote a full book. See, that is what distinguishes you. You and That is so so good because sometimes getting over that fear, like oh, what are people? Because fear of criticism is a real fear
It's
because you put
real. It's
yourself
so
out
real.
there, and people are mean, Brianna. Like
They
people are
are.
mean.
And even now, I feel like as a writer, that's still one of my biggest fears. Like, how are people gonna like receive my books? Are they gonna like it? Are they gonna hate it? Like, are they gonna compare it to other stuff and just see that it doesn't like stack up? And like, I just kind of have to put that stuff out of my head. Like, don't worry so much about what people think. As long as you're doing what God told you to do, like, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, see that's the most important thing because I see you sometimes when I'm down. I'm like, how does she do it? Because sometimes because I bet you get criticism too, and dealing with
Yeah.
criticism can be hard. The way you do it, I love that because you are, as you said, you are very faithful. You are very religious, and I feel like that is a strong foundation in your life.
Yeah, and like honestly, I love criticism because like even though like
Wait,
not
what?
all
You
criticism,
love criticism?
I honestly I love it. Like I hate it and I love it. Let me put it that way. So
Okay.
it can be harsh when you first get criticism, but once you sit
Mm-hmm.
back and think a little bit about what they're saying, and even if it isn't true, like just thinking about like why they're possibly saying what they're saying, like it can help you like push you to a different level too. Because like I don't know, like I don't necessarily believe in the phrase that there is always like some truth in like criticism, but I feel like there's something that you can gain from all criticism, even if you find it true or not true.
That's true. Wow, you said it better than anyone else I've heard. That is really good. So then you start writing, right? That second year, and you're also managing schoolwork and everything. And as you said, there was
Yeah,
definitely some roadblocks in here. So even the greatest of the great, do get some roadblocks. So that's
for
that's
sure.
important for you to talk about that. So now, how do you like publishing a book? Like how do you what is that like? No one, I don't know how to do that. How do you do that?
So honestly, I didn't know what like where to start either with publishing. So when I was done, well, even a little bit before I was done, I was just looking into ways to like publish a book. And so like I read a lot of articles on Pinterest and then just started googling some stuff. And then one of the articles I was reading was talking about just finding out what's best for you. And so I was thinking that since it's like my first book, not a lot of people know me like that. So let's just try like self-publishing and see how it goes. And so I knew that Amazon, like for my research, I knew that Amazon had a free publishing service. So I was like, let's just go ahead and do that because it seems pretty simple. It's free. And because I'm a broke college student, I don't have a lot of money to be spending on the book. So let me just go
Yeah.
ahead and do that. And so that's the route I chose to take because I felt like it was easy, it was doable, and it didn't take that long. So I just wanted to go
And
ahead
did
and do
that
that.
work out?
Yeah, it worked out.
Look at that. It's on Amazon, you guys. If you are listening and if you
Check
want
it
to check this book,
out.
I'm gonna put the
Check
link in
out both
the
of those books, please.
I'm gonna put it in the link. I'm gonna put the link in the intro. I mean the bio. So definitely we'll get some people to at least read it, hear
Yeah,
about
at
it.
least read what it's about or something.
Exactly. Give it a shot because Brianna's story is a very, very phenomenal story.
Oh, thank
Now,
you.
now, if you were, when did you end up publishing this book? So you started writing in the second year, I believe. Then what
Uh
happened
huh.
then?
Then I published it. It was like a week or so before my senior year started.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Okay, girl, you
Yeah, so
got
it
it.
took me like a year and a half to like actually write it, and then I published it like a little bit after I got done writing it, maybe like a month or so after.
Man, that's very good. And did you have any help editing or anything like that, or it was all just you?
So I had a couple of friends like read through it to like make some corrections if they saw something or just give me like some additional thoughts like on how they thought it was going, and I
Hmm.
feel like that was really helpful too.
Okay, okay. Now, as you are getting through to your college journey, what was some of the highlights? Talk us like what's the best thing and the worst thing
Mm.
that you experienced, best and the worst.
The best and the worst thing. Okay, let's start with the best thing. I think I have so honestly have so many highlights from college. Like college was amazing to me. Like it definitely wasn't like always easy, but I had so many highlights, and most of them it's surrounded like other people. Like just being able to cheer like just basically every weekend with like girls who I consider my family. Like that was always a highlight because I love sports and I just love making people happy. And so I feel like
Mm-hmm.
cheerleading was a great place to like do that because you're always like trying to hype people up, and that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
also like definitely one of my biggest highlights was just having my parents and my sister and my aunt seeing me graduate like that. Like nothing beats that.
No,
because like neither one of
no,
my
for
parents
sure.
attended college, so I feel like I was like doing it for them the whole time anyway. So for them to actually see me like walk across that stage, that was like no words can explain like what was going through my head then. I don't even know if I was thinking or just like I don't know, like a dream.
Yeah, and I mean, it truly is a dream come true, isn't it, Brianna?
Yeah, honestly, still like to me, it still doesn't seem real sometimes. I look back and was like, and be like, oh, I actually did that. Like that's crazy.
I know, right? So I know a lot of famous people, a lot of celebrities, and a lot of established authors come and talk at Harvard. Did you get a
Hmm.
chance to sit at a lecture that was, like that you don't see every day?
Mm, I did sit in on a few. Like, unfortunately, I feel like I didn't take advantage of like a lot of those opportunities like I should have. But I did hear like a few interesting people talk. It was like my junior and senior year. So DJ Khaled came to campus once, and I thought that was so cool because he was like one of like the most famous people that I had ever like been in the presence of. So that was really cool to like hear his perspective on life and like the things that he felt helped him and like his keys to success and things like that. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the thing about talks like that, I feel like there's always something that you can learn from anybody. So if you have the opportunity to go to talks of like people like visiting campus, like always take advantage of that, even if it's somebody that you're not fond of or somebody that you don't really know like that. Take advantage of those opportunities because something they say could like resonate with you deeply, and you never
Mm-hmm.
know like how much that can push you too. So that was definitely like one of my like favorite talks. And then
For sure.
also Misty Copeland came to campus. I think that was my senior year too, and I saw her talk, and just her story was also really
Who is
inspiring too.
she?
She's like one of like the most famous like black ballerinas.
Wow.
You should
See, I
definitely
don't
look
know
her up.
anything about ballet, so yeah,
Yeah,
I was like,
I didn't either, but I saw her coming to campus. I was like, I'm going.
awesome. So now the weather. That's the biggest thing I want to
Oh
get to because
man.
I was like, girl, see, I heard you know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh
Yes.
my
Oh
God. How was
goodness.
that like the first year?
It was honestly rough my freshman year. So apparently that was like the worst like winter Boston had had in like years. And so I was just like I was kind of baffled. I was like, it actually snows this much here. Like this is crazy. Like every day you walk into class and like just snow mounds taller than you. Just like
Oh
why isn't
man.
class canceled? Like why am I walking here? So this I'm gonna be miserable the next few years if it's gonna be like this every year. But that was actually like the worst year as far as snow goes. But I'm glad we had that because it prepared me for the other winter. So like sophomore year, junior year, senior year was nothing compared to that. So I was fine. But
Okay.
like my mom, she gave me like a big coat, got me boots and stuff, a heated blanket, gloves. I was good. I was ready.
Oh yeah, yeah. You ain't messing around, girl.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the thing is, it's also really pretty. So it's okay. Like it's not all bad. Like you get annoyed with it
Yeah.
sometimes, but it's pretty. Like you gotta find something good in it.
All right, all right, all right. So then, when now you're finishing up your psychology degree, the African American Studies minor. Now
Hmm.
Harvard's coming to an end. Now, what was your plan after that? Like, I was like, what am I gonna do?
Honestly, like I was a little scared because I feel like people around me kind of already knew what they wanted to do, and me on the
Mm-hmm.
other hand, I feel like I don't know, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I knew that I had things that I enjoyed doing, like writing. Like, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. I didn't really want to apply to a writing program because I thought that it would like kind of take away from my love of writing. So I didn't want to do that. And then I just happened to be looking up some stuff, and I came across this sports psychology program. And I was like, oh, that actually seems pretty cool because I love sports and I love psychology. So I was like, that seemed like a safe route to take. So I
Oh
kind of
yeah,
just
you do
impulsively
love
applied.
sports.
I love sports.
So then, where else did you apply to a lot of schools too, or did you just know that where you
No,
wanted to go?
I only applied to Florida State.
Oh my God! And you got in.
Yeah, and I was like, I kind of really wanted to come here because I was like, Florida is closer to home. Like the weather is gonna be totally different, and I always wanted to live in Florida too. So I was like, why not just go for it? And I also just like the fact that with this program that we get the opportunity to work with local teams, and I feel like that's something that I really like enjoy doing, like applied work. So that was really cool.
Maybe do you think the maybe the cheerleading and psychology studying, do you think maybe that influenced you towards sports psychology or
Huh.
no?
I honestly never really thought about that, like my cheer experience and then how it influenced me wanting to like study sports psychology. Huh. But
Because like,
I guess it kind of did though, because I
right,
know
because you
cheer
were
was
surrounded by
hard.
all, huh? Mm-hmm. Look at
Yeah.
that. Look at that. And you were
I honestly
surrounded
didn't even
by
think about that.
and you were surrounded by sports people all the time because you were
Yeah.
cheering for them, right?
Yep. Yeah. And I feel like my cheer experience definitely helped me like do a little bit better in school because like with some of the studies they were reading and stuff, I could kind of relate to like what the authors were talking about. So it was definitely helpful to
Look
have
at
that
that.
experience.
We learned something new today
I
about you,
know.
Brianna. Wow. So then, how long have you been doing that now? You moved to Florida, right?
Yeah, I moved last August, so I've been here for almost a year now.
And how have you been liking that?
Honestly, the adjustment was a lot harder than it was like adjusting to Boston because I feel like grad school is just like a little bit different, and then Florida is also different too. Because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like here, like I'm like more on my own, and like I don't really have like just I'm just not always surrounded by people like I was in college, so it's a little bit different. And I know like the first few months where I was here, it was a struggle just adjusting to life here and just like having to drive everywhere and not walking everywhere, just and also trying to like work really hard to make money while you're in school. It was all like a big adjustment. And then also I was just
Mm-hmm.
feeling kind of lonely because like I was just always so tired. I didn't want to hang out with people. It was hard.
I feel that, girl. I
Yeah.
totally feel that. Wow. So then, you are doing a master's or a PhD program?
A master's.
A master's. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Wonderful. So then, do you have to take? Is it a lot like undergrad or is it different?
I feel like it's honestly a lot different, but it's still similar in like a way. I feel like it's a lot less class than college was, like
Mm-hmm.
undergrad. So I have a lot more free time in a sense, but it's like just I feel like with grad school, like you have it's a different type of balance because you're balancing school, like even though you have less school, like you're also like if you're like me, you're working on the side too, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's just a little different.
Yeah.
Like classes
It,
are somewhat similar too. It's like, but it's like you have a lot less class. Like your class usually meets only like once a week, and like where we were in undergrad, like your class might meet twice a week, three times a week, or you might be looking to have a class that meets only once a week. So, yeah, so in that way, it's kind of similar and kind of different at the same time.
oh my God! Wow. So this
Yeah,
is
I feel like the
and
expectations are a little different.
yeah, because this is completely different because in undergrad it's more structured and which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, do you have to do dissertation and master's thesis, and how do you do that in sports psychology?
So, like, there is an option for you to do that, but I'm not doing a thesis option because I honestly don't want to. So, at the end, like, we just take like a big exam, and then if you pass it, good for you because you have your degree
Good
then.
for you. Good for
But yeah,
yeah.
I didn't really want to do a thesis because there was nothing. Like, I'm not gonna say there wasn't anything that I really wanted to study, but I just knew that that wasn't for me. I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah, and you have to know what you want and what you don't want, and you
Yeah,
know, so nothing wrong
that's
with that.
yeah. Because I don't want to do
Absolutely.
something and then just be like, oh, like I don't want to do it. Like, of course, that happens in life sometimes, but I knew the thesis was something I didn't want to do. Yeah,
For
because I'm not
sure.
that big on research, so
Yeah, yeah, and that's okay because we need people who are like caring and people person like you. So that's we need that too. So now you also wrote a book, a second book.
yeah.
Talk about that, Brianna.
So I started writing the second book. Like honestly, I started writing it a month or so after I published the first one because I had so many ideas running through my head, and I was like, I need to go ahead and get these down. So I got a lot of it done actually, like my senior year. I got like maybe maybe a third of the way done, like my senior year, or even probably more than that because I just had so much running through my head because I was like I like the way I ended the first one and I was like there's so much possibility, so let me just go ahead and write. I don't want to waste time, but I did actually take a little bit of time between them because I was like I need a little break because my brain just feels fried. And this book, it was a lot. It was like the process was a little bit easier in some ways, but also harder because I had the expectations from the first book that were carrying over into the second book. I was just thinking so much about how people were going to receive this one and how it was going to fare compared to the first one because I feel like the first one did really well, and I was just wondering if people was actually going to read this one too. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was just really a mental battle. But when I got
Right,
it out,
right.
I was glad.
Yeah, and that's a good. And for the people who might not know, the first and the second book are related, right?
Yeah. So it's going to be a
Okay.
series. So I'm working on the third one too. So like they're like the storyline kind of picks up like where the first one left off.
Oh my God, look at
Mhm.
that. So people be on the lookout for the third one, y'all. Be on the
Yeah.
lookout for the third one. Okay,
It's
okay. So
coming
you
sometime.
so future wise, after you are done with the master's program,
Mhm.
what do you imagine or want yourself to be doing?
That's honestly what I'm trying to figure out now. I feel like that's one of
Okay.
the struggles I'm having. It's like it's kind of like the same thing I was going through at the end of high school. It's like even though I knew I was going to go to college, I just couldn't really see what it was going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And until it happened, and now it's like I'm trying to envision my future, and I just it's like I have so many like things that I would like to do. Like I want to write more. Like I would love to have a career in sports too, but it's just I don't know. Like I just feel like I'm pulled in so many different directions. I just need to figure out like where my true passion actually lies and where like I will get the most joy out of doing the work that I do. So I don't know. Like I'm really trying to figure it out.
And maybe you could do both because sometimes people
Yeah.
like you especially you have the caliber to do both. So I mean, why pick one when you can, like
I
why
know
pick and
there could be a way to combine both of them because I was talking to someone. I was actually like studying like on FSU's campus, like just like after class one day, and I was talking to this man, and he was just asking me about my future and stuff, and I was like, I'm kind of feeling like I was just kind of saying what I just said, like I'm pulled in so many different directions, and he was like, what if there was a way for you to combine both of them? Could you like write a book that combines what you learn in sports psychology and like make it a novel and all that? And I was like, I didn't even think about that. So
exactly.
it's so much that could be done. It's
For
just
sure, for
figuring it
sure.
all out. It's just a little bit stressful sometimes.
Limitless opportunities though. For sure.
Yeah.
And like the way you carry yourself, Brianna. I mean, like man, oh man, like you will figure something out no matter
Well,
what.
thank you.
So yeah, I appreciate you. Now I do this little segment where I just open up the field to anything that you want to say to anyone listening, students, sister, mother, brother, father, anyone, and like just advise that the thing that you believe that are most important that you have learned and you want to pass it on to
hmm
someone else.
Yeah, so I feel like the thing that I definitely want to pass on to others is that like when you pray and seek God in everything you do, like He's gonna direct your paths. It's so true because if you try to do things without Him, like things are just so much more stressful. But when you like try to align your vision for what He like with what He has for you, it all seems to come together. And like now, like I said, I'm struggling trying to figure out like what I want to do with my future, but like I'm still like constantly seeking God at the same time. So I know that it's gonna work out, and it might not be how I envisioned it working out
Mm-hmm.
or thought it would ever work out, but it's gonna work out the way it's supposed to work out because whatever's meant to happen is always gonna happen.
Yes, yes, most definitely.
It's no problem.
Thank you for giving us your journey, the lessons we can learn. Even the greatest of the greatest can have sometimes roadblocks and be okay with that. These are
Yeah,
like lessons
so
that
true.
people need to hear. That like it's not
Yeah,
all fun always.
and it's not always easy. Like you're gonna struggle, and even if you don't see the struggles that people who've had success, like if you don't see the struggles that they had and they don't talk about them, like don't think that they didn't have them because everybody struggles through something, whether they
Oh
talk
yeah, for
about it or
sure.
not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, Brianna, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for taking out your time from your busy life and talking
No
to me.
problem at
I
all.